It is Football Friday here on Fox 32. We'll bring in Tina Nguyen from Hallis Hall, where the Bears practiced earlier today, in just a second. But first, I need to ask you, Cassie, man, I don't know if you had a chance to check out the Packers last night against the Washington Commanders, but it's all part of our Chicago Drive, Chicago.com NFC North preview. We knew the Packers coming into this season were good. But after what I've seen the first 2 weeks of this season against the Lions last week and the Commanders last night, dare I say they're great, especially defensively.
I mean, it already looks like they're ready to contend for a Super Bowl, and that's scary when we're talking about the Bears, the Lions, who are just trying to find their identity going into week 2 of the season, already starting 0-1 in the division. And you hate that the Packers are in the NFC North, but it just goes to show what can happen when you can affect the quarterback. And Micah Parsons coming in, he only put up a half a sack, but just 4 total sacks on Jaden Daniels, 21 pressures, and that lets the defense dictate the pace of that game.
Yeah, 21 pressures. Yeah. That's incredible. I saw another number where it's been since 1996, the 96 season, since the Green Bay Packers held their first 2 opponents under 260 total yards. Wow. By the way, in that 1996 season, the Packers won the Super Bowl. All right, enough about Green Bay after their Thursday night win over Washington. Let's bring in Tina Nguyen, who is at today's Bears practice at Hallis Hall. Tina, good to see you, and I need to get right to the news. Who practiced and who didn't?
Yeah, well, aside from seeing your Jalen Johnson, TJ Edwards, Roschon Johnson out there, I think the big news that we've been monitoring this week, right, is Grady Jarrett. And we got the chance to talk to him one-on-one in the locker room. He's trending towards it's the right way. Looks like he will be playing on Sunday. He wouldn't give us any details, obviously, about what happened on Monday with his knee injury, but he seems like he's in good spirit and that he will be ready to go on Sunday. I did also got the chance to talk to him for a while one-on-one after we talked to him with the media scrum. This guy, he's tough. I don't know if you guys know this, but I learned today he's got a big wrestling background. Back in high school in Atlanta, was undefeated his senior year, even won a state title in wrestling. So it gave me just a glimpse as to how tough this guy is. So no surprise that, of course, he's going to do everything that he can to play on Sunday.
Yeah, good news to hear that Grady Jarrett is trending in the right direction, because we were talking yesterday of who's going to fill that spot if he can't go. And I think the one thing to keep in mind with Grady Jarrett is he's in year 11. And that was a question when the Bears brought him in, is his durability, turning the back half of his career and having an injury a couple years ago, coming back from that. So you see a knee injury pop up on the injury report and you're like, all right, do we need to start worrying about this? But one thing to keep in mind with Grady Jarrett is, especially with this game against the Lions, is his ability to stop the run. And that's going to be the first thing the Bears are going to have to do with Jahmyr Gibbs and with David Montgomery. Because just listening to Ben Johnson talk about these 2 running backs today, he glows about these guys, and no one knows them better than Ben Johnson, who worked with them for multiple years. And just the speed that Jahmyr Gibbs has and the way he's able to break tackles and get into open space. But he also said he can be like David Montgomery and get and break through those tackles as well and get those short yardage situations, which we saw last year when Demo went down. Ben Johnson loves these 2 running backs. They couldn't get the run game going in week 1 against the Packers, and that's going to be established early, I bet, if the Lions are looking at their game plan.
Any of the players talking? I know you usually have a chance to go inside the locker room. You had a chance to go one-on-one with Grady Jarrett. Any of the guys on offense? Because as we discussed, while Detroit needs to get its running game going, boy, the Bears do as well, because Ben Johnson is now running the Bears offense, and it's all about getting the running game established, especially in a madhouse like Ford Field, where if you're playing from behind, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and we got the chance to also talk to Kyle Monangai, and we asked him, hey, you know, Ben Johnson said earlier this week, I want to call more run plays, and he said that is music to my ears. So I think, you know, someone that the Bears took as a 7th rounder, we're all eager and curious to see, hey, what is this going to look like, especially if you can get Kyle Monangai involved there. But yeah, as you said, you know, the Lions are going to want to try to get the run game going. So are the Bears, right? Because that's definitely going to have that trickle-down effect and help them when it comes to play action as well as passing the ball.
I know you had a chance to chat with Ben Johnson earlier this week, and he said we need to run the football more. And he really took the responsibility upon himself. He called 20 run plays last week. None involved the rookie, Kyle Monangai. There were 6 other scrambling runs by Caleb Williams, which I won't account for. But when you think about, all right, they ran the football 20 times in that Minnesota game, and for the most part, they were ahead in that football game, so they could have run the football more up until the fourth quarter, and then they started to play from behind. How many times do you think under Ben Johnson the Bears run the football Sunday?
Oh, you're asking me to put out a number. I'm going to say double because I think you have to stick to it. This is a problem we've seen with the Bears offenses in the years past too, where they get away from getting that run game established. So it really affects the rest of their passing game as well. And I think it just alleviates so much pressure from Caleb Williams if this Lions defense has to worry about stopping the run. If Caleb Williams is going to be worried about passing the ball, 40 times a game, this defense is going to drop back in coverage and just wait for Caleb to make his own mistakes. So I think establishing the run, especially with Kyle Monangai, who plays a different style than DeAndre Swift, who can get out and space a little bit more. I was surprised to see that Kyle Monangai played 9 offensive snaps, had 1 catch for 11 yards. So use him in the run game, get some more short yards there, and as well as Roschon Johnson, who's hopefully back for this game as well.
All right, let's bring back Tina. Tina, give me a final nugget. Let me throw this question your way. We're told that offensive lineman Taylor Decker did not practice for Detroit today. 3rd straight day he has sat out. They have offensive line problems already. If Decker doesn't go, they're in real trouble. Did you get any sense from Ben Johnson or any of the offensive guys, Kyle Monangai, anyone else you may have talked to, that they're really going to, or defensive guys, excuse me, they're really going to test that offensive line for Detroit?
Yeah, well, I think when you look at the Lions offense, I feel like that is the weakest link to them. I mean, you have a new center, a new left guard, new right guard, right? And that is something that I think the Bears defensive line can definitely exploit.
Nice work, Tina. Thanks for joining us from Hallis Hall. We need to take a quick time out.